Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nas. So about 3 months ago, inspired by Nastasia Grace, whose video I will link in the description, I made a video talking about shows and movies on Netflix that I regret watching as a Christian, and also ones that I would never watch and therefore don't recommend. I love Nastasia's take on it and I wanted to share my own. You guys are still very much actively commenting on that video, and so I thought it would be fitting to do a kind of a part 2 reacting to some of your comments, because reading your comments made me realize that there were actually a lot of shows that I should have mentioned but forgot to mention. So I'm going to be addressing that in today's video, so let's get straight into it.
Every single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day.
If you're new here and you're looking for Christian content, then this is the place to be. Make sure you subscribe down below, and also that you turn on my notification bell, because I post every week, usually on Fridays, and my content is all about inspiration, edification, and also just fun and good vibes. So if you're interested, be sure to join this family. Alright, so as we get into the topic of this video, the question of the day for this video, part 2, is, as a Christian, what would turn you, or what does turn you off from certain shows and movies? Where you draw the line? Like, what would make you stop watching a show or movie, whether it be unbiblical themes or excessive cursing, whatever it is? Comment that down below for a chance to be featured in another video that I'll be doing soon, where I react to your comments regarding that question. So make sure you don't leave me hanging, but that you actually comment your response to that down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that question. And without further ado, let's read your comments. Alright, so obviously I won't be able to get to every comment, but I have a couple that I want to highlight. So the first one, this person said some shows that they wouldn't recommend are After We Collided, any of the 50 Shades movies. And I feel like I don't need to like explain that one, because I feel like unless you're living under a rock, you know what 50 Shades of Grey is. It had a whole series, and if you know what it is and all you've heard about it, then you should know why that would be one that's not recommended. Next up is Euphoria. Euphoria is one that I wish I had mentioned in part 1, and if you didn't watch part 1 of this video, then I will link that in the description down below. But basically I was just sharing, like I said, some shows and movies that I regret watching, and Euphoria is one that I've never seen, but it's one that I would never watch. I watched the trailer, and let me tell you something. I love Zendaya, who's the star of this show, in case you're clueless. I love Zendaya, but I saw Zendaya, who is the star of this series. She made a post on Instagram back when it was like just releasing. She made a post on Instagram. This isn't verbatim, but basically what she said was, and I don't know if this post is still up on her page because I tried to find it but I couldn't. But anyways, she was basically saying that if you know that you can't handle certain like extremes or certain like strong mature content, then she actually advised you not to watch the show. When the star of the show can come out and tell you that, then that is humility, first of all, and I respected that, and I took that and I ran with it. So I highly discouraged from watching this one. But just to give you a quick little background, I'm gonna go on IMDb really quickly, because what someone actually brought to my attention is that when you want to, like, before watching a movie or a show, if you want to check out the like beware of like content, for example sexual content, or if it has violence, or if it has cursing or anything like that, you can actually go on imdb.com, search up the show and go to Parents Guide, and it will tell you all that is in the show, so you can like kind of prepare yourself, and then you can use that to determine whether or not you want to go ahead and watch the show. So what it has to say about this one, okay, first of all, it's a drama. That's the genre. It's a drama, and the synopsis is that it's a look at life for a group of high school students as they grapple with issues of drugs, sex, and violence. That's the synopsis. And the Parents Guide, guys, the Parents Guide, okay, so under sex and nudity it has like 12, and I don't even want to really to read it because it was kind of, ooh, it's very graphic. So it actually labels it as severe sex and nudity. That's one. Violence and gore, it's moderate. Profanity, severe. So alcohol, drugs, and smoking, it labels that as severe as well, and it even just lists the different like moments in the show where that is mentioned. So highly recommend that if you're gonna watch something and you're kind of skeptical, just go to IMDb and look at the parents guide and use that, and then just follow your convictions after that. So Euphoria, 13 Reasons Why is another one. Yeah, 13 Reasons Why is a show that I started to watch it. This is also a drama. I started to watch it, but I don't think I stopped it for spiritual reasons. I think I stopped it because I discovered a different series. Like how I am personally, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I constantly show hop. So I can't watch just one thing at once. I'm constantly watching like several shows at once, which is why my Netflix continue watching list is always like full. But IMDb for this one, it says that it follows teenager Clay Jensen in his quest to uncover the story behind his classmate and crush Hannah and her decision to end her life. So the parents guide for this one, I mean, it's a very popular show, so you guys should know it. But for sex and nudity, it labels sex and nudity as severe, and it gives you the very detailed stuff. Violence and gore, it labels this as severe as well. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking, it labels it as severe. Profanity, it labels this one as severe. So I mean, yeah. And I heard that there's a particular scene in season 2 that everybody was like, and I don't even want to watch to find out what that was. I didn't even watch half of season 1. I just stopped it before it could get to any of that. But yeah, 30 Reasons Why is definitely one that I should have mentioned. This person also mentioned Sabrina and Lucifer, which I mentioned in part 1 of this video, so you can go ahead and check that out. Family Guy, American Dad, Cuties. So Cuties is one that actually caused a lot of Christians to delete their Netflix account, and somebody else's comment was, I flat out cancelled my account, it got so bad. The final straw was the movie Cuties that Netflix actually defended. So I'm actually curious to know, like, how many of you guys actually took the plunge to delete your Netflix account? I was like this close to doing it after all the outrage. I mean, from last year when Netflix released a movie that flat out mocked Jesus. I even did a video about that, which I'll link below as well, in case you're clueless. But they did a movie last year, a Christmas special last year, that pretty much mocked the whole story of Jesus. And I know that for some Christians was the final straw. But then this year, when they released Cuties, which it's a drama / comedy, but it's very inappropriate. Like, they use young actors. The things that young actors are doing in this movie, very inappropriate. Like, literally 11-year-old actresses gyrating and doing things that should be for a mature audience. And the synopsis, according to IMDb, is Amy, an 11-year-old girl, joins a group of dancers named the Cuties at school and rapidly grows aware of her burgeoning femininity, upsetting her mother and her values in the process. So it sounds seemingly harmless, but the sex and nudity is labeled as severe. The violence and gore is labeled as mild. Profanity is labeled as moderate, but it's just the fact that they used young children to portray these roles that was like disturbing. Like, you could have found mature actors for this. So that was like the final straw for a lot of Christians, and apparently Netflix didn't do anything about it. I mean, I signed petitions that like were going around for them to delete the show, and nothing happened. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think about, should I keep my Netflix account? I mean, I know a lot of persons were encouraging me to get PureFlix, which I actually talked to my family about PureFlix, and we were like this close to doing it, and I might still do it. I heard PureFlix is cheesy, but some person said it's still worth it. Let me know what you think down below, and let me know how many of you actually took the plunge to delete your Netflix account, and what was that final straw for you. If it was Cuties, if it was, what was it, Someone else said, I regret watching Handmaid's Tale because it takes scripture and uses it for evil. Ooh, that's crazy. So Handmaid's Tale, let me just take a quick look at that one. It's one that I've heard about before, but I've never watched it. I haven't even seen the trailer, to be honest. But the genre, it's a sci-fi. And the IMDb, just to give you a quick synopsis, so it's set in a dystopian future. A woman is forced to live as a concubine under a fundamentalist theocratic dictatorship. And the parents guide for this one, let's see what it says. So sex and nudity is labeled as severe, and it gives you the detailed scenes. The violence and gore is labeled as severe. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking is labeled as mild. Profanity is labeled as moderate. But honestly, first of all, the images look creepy. I'm not interested, sorry. So, Handmaid's Tale, okay, I'll take your word for it. Someone said watch God Is Not Dead. That's actually a recommendation that I would highly endorse. God Is Not Dead. A quick synopsis. It's on Netflix, by the way. It's basically like a student who is a Christian. He went to college and he's challenged, like his Christianity is challenged, and he finds himself debating in class with his lecturer who's an atheist, and the lecturer pretty much made it clear that unless you are also an atheist, you will not be able to pass his class unless you blatantly declare and sign a paper saying that God is not real, that God is dead. But this student who's a Christian was strongly convicted that he needs to stand up for Jesus, and he did, and the movie is amazing. Go and watch it. That's recommendation number 1. Thank you, Alicia Howell, for that. Another person said, I regret watching Sex Education. Yeah, Sex Education is a popular one on Netflix, and it's a comedy / drama according to the genre. Honestly, I've heard persons hype this one up, but I'm not interested by any means. Like, if you want to learn about sex and all, like, read the Bible. Literally just go and read the Bible. Like, it has enough for you in the Bible about sex, and you can't begin to evaluate sex outside of a biblical context because God created sex, right? And it's supposed to be in the context of marriage. The synopsis is: a teenage boy with a sex therapist mother teams up with a high school classmate to set up an underground sex therapy clinic at school. From persons that I know have watched it, I heard that it has some very graphic scenes. So on the Parents Guide for IMDb, sex and nudity, it labels it as severe. Violence and gore is labeled as mild. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking is labeled as moderate. Profanity is labeled as severe. It's very intense. It's a very intense show, and I personally would not watch it. I do highly believe that we need to be taught about sex, but under a biblical context, not just, yeah. So, and she recommends the Bible and AD, the Bible Continues, something, I don't know if is that on Netflix? I don't know, but that's what she recommends. I think I used to watch a show called The Bible on Netflix. Feel free to check that out. Another show that I would recommend, just to put it out there, is The Chosen. A lot of Christians have been watching The Chosen, and if you want me to do a review on it, let me know. Give this video a thumbs up or something to indicate, because I started to watch it. I'm still in season 1, but season 2 was recently released, and I want to get back on watching it because it's so good so far, and it's basically like a reenactment of the Bible, well, at least from what I've seen so far and what I've heard. Go watch the trailer, but literally, like, it's not on Netflix, but you can go on the Play Store or Apple Store, just type in The Chosen and download the app and watch episodes for free. Also, if Christians would recommend watching The Chosen, so yeah, that's another recommendation for you guys. She also says that she would never watch Eli because that movie was just so demonic, and she also would not watch 50 Shades of Grey. She regrets watching them, and she also hasn't seen 360. Oh my goodness, 365 Days was a big hype on Netflix when it came out, and thankfully I was able to talk to friends that watch this movie, and they were able to let me know, don't watch it because it's crazy, it's wild, it's extremely graphic, extremely sexual. There's no reason for any Christian to be desirous of watching 365 Days. Just watch the trailer, that should be enough for you. Read the synopsis, that should be enough for you. But it basically says Massimo is a member of the Sicilian mafia family and Laura is a sales director. She does not expect that on a trip to Sicily trying to save her relationship, Massimo will kidnap her and give her 365 days to fall in love with him. It sounds nice and friendly, but it's actually really, really graphic. So don't watch that, guys. XXXX for that one. Thank you, Ifechi. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Someone recommends Breakthrough, as I actually saw some other persons recommending Breakthrough, so I'm gonna look into it. And she also, or he also, wouldn't rewatch 50 Shades of Grey. Someone else said, I had a month subscription of Netflix and I cancelled because majority of the movies were projecting homosexuality. However, I love the season Greenleaf. Am I the only Christian that actually doesn't love Greenleaf? I feel like it highlights too much on the negative aspect of the church. I didn't even finish season 1, to be honest. Maybe I can't speak from it speak to it properly. But I personally, I'm not interested, and it has lots of sexual content as well, and it has a lot of, well, like I said, I didn't watch it fully, but I personally wouldn't watch it. And she says that majority of Netflix's movies are projecting homosexuality. Yeah, but that's inescapable. Like, we're in 2020, majority of the movies and shows on Netflix and otherwise, like in general, are going to portray some level of homosexuality, or just, I feel like it's practically impossible these days. Like, it's really hard to find shows that honor God or honor the themes of the Bible, because like practically everything has I think someone even said it, and maybe I can find in the comments. Someone said practically every show has some kind of aspect to be that is like a turn off, or should be a turn off for Christians. But thanks for that comment. Someone else said, one show I wouldn't recommend watching is Supernatural. I was really into it for a long time, but there's a lot of darker horror, language, and really twisted ideas about God and angels. American Horror Story 2, both are just so far away from anything biblical or holy. American Horror Story is a comment that I'm getting frequently on that video, so thanks for that. I heard about it, I've never actually watched it, nor have I seen Supernatural, but I've heard about both. Yeah, thank you for that comment, Sage. Someone else said, I wish I never got into American Horror Story and Grey's Anatomy. Who else has watched Grey's Anatomy that would discourage watching Grey's Anatomy? I'd love to hear why you discourage Grey's Anatomy. Comment down below. If anybody else agrees that you shouldn't watch Grey's Anatomy, comment why. Someone else said 7 Deadly Sins and Eli, which is a movie. Oh, here's the comment I made mention to. Someone said, most commonly available entertainment has something to be aware of. So it's always always be aware of. You can't read it, just read it. With that being said, I would never rewatch Lost Girl. Alright guys, so I was going through some of the comments before making this video, and I looked up Lost Girl. I don't even want to read the description on camera. I don't want, just look it up for yourself and you will know why I don't even want to read it. Highly discourage that one. Someone said How to Get Away with Murder is one that they don't recommend Christians watching, because also Grimm, it was a part of occult fiction and horror. Okay, I mentioned in part 1 of this video, if a genre of any show or movie is occult fiction, run. Don't even watch the trailer, just run. So that's that. Recommendations: Breakthrough, A Case for Christ. I'm Not Ashamed is one I would endorse. I watched a part of it with my mother, and I cried at the end. I cried. It was really touching. I would highly recommend I'm Not Ashamed. I think it's on YouTube. Just look it up. You can find it on YouTube. Step by Step, Beethoven, Air Bud, High School Musical. I mean, it's a classic. Courageous is on Netflix and it's really good. I would highly recommend Courageous as well. Big up to Yasmin B, also a Jamaican YouTuber. She says that she would stop watching Jane the Virgin. Yeah, I stopped watching Jane the Virgin as well. Not for spiritual reasons, but I just lost interest. It just got really drawn out. Kristen Wilson, big up to you. She always comments. She regrets watching Good Witch, and she recommends Virgin River, Chesapeake Shores, and When Calls the Heart. She barely watches Netflix. Yeah, Netflix barely has anything wholesome left on it. That's all I'm going to react to for today's video, but thank you guys so much for all the comments and all the shows, all the recommendations. Remember to comment down below your answer to the question of the day. What turns you off as a Christian? What turns you off from certain shows or movies? I'll be addressing that in another video, so make sure if you want to be featured that you comment down below, and you will see me in my next video. Share your thoughts. Do you disagree or agree with what person said? And you will see me in my next one. Bye guys.